Live, going live, going live. We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Under Construction. That's not trains, that's the OBS window showing me trains. We are back in Lionhead because we lost some progress, I guess. If I recall, it's been a while. Last episode ended with a game crash, and here we are. So, I'm going to try to really quickly recoup the losses, put this place back together, and then we're going to continue on with what we were doing. I don't have the comments open. I don't have anybody else with me. I was tempted to do this in Discord. What up, Ellis says Gundathorn. I thought this was Gundathorn. Gundathorn, I think, is a cool name too. But Gundathorn, PS4. What up, Ellis? I'm making Under Construction, finally, after a while. And I did want to do a stream. I don't know how long it's going to be because Madison is sick and she's at work, so she might come home early. And, you know, I don't know if she's going to want me to help her make soup or something, make food. Matthew, get out of here. Nobody cares what number you are. And what is that? Something just close. So I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm going to try to get as much done as I can. I remember we had a nice pile of coal over here last time. So this actually looks a decent bit like coal. Ryan Smith says hello. Rain, sorry. Rain Smith says hello, Rain. That is not that color. That is black. That is black. That is not black. Okay, let's get some coal. That is better. Bucket Nation Railroad says hello, people of the internet. Hello, Bucket Nation Railroad. So, like I was saying, I don't have anybody on Discord with me this time. That taxes my computer a lot, more than I would like it to. I've got 16 gig RAM, but it blows out my processor faster than anything. Ellis, you will be happy to know I finally got myself a BLI K4 with Paragon 2 sound. Nice. I love me some BLI Paragon stuff. I know I've heard kind of mediocre stuff on Paragon 3, but Paragon 2 is always a good bet. How much did you spend on it? Because that is the question. Because you can get some of that stuff, that stuff will retail for sometimes twice what you can find it for online. And it is not cheap. BLI, though, in my understanding, BLI is pretty good with their customer service, too. They're not a sit-down sort of company when it comes to that. Also, I don't have my sound on at all. $180 is really good for a BLI. Okay, so you did a good job. Nicely done. Hope you enjoy the thing. Gunda Throne. Gunda. Maybe I'll just call you Gunda. Makes me think of Gundam. I was tempted to join your Discord, Ellis, but if I joined TVA Avenger, would ban me immediately. Yeah, right. So, first of all, I hold all of the cards when it comes to my Discord. The Iron Horseman is completely under my control. So, nobody else is going to ban you. If somebody's going to ban you, it's going to be me, and we have pretty good rules outlining when I can ban somebody, because I wanted some good rules outlining when I can ban somebody. Gunda is what everyone calls me, so that's fine. Okay, good. At least I'm in the right ballpark. Milky's playing Hearts of Iron. I know Eric's playing Hearts of Iron. I just saw Milky come up in the corner of my screen. I really want to play. This was almost a Hearts of Iron stream. Yep, there goes Eric. God damn, that game is good. I have not had a lot of time to play games lately, but that has been my game. It's great. I love it. Oops. And that is a phone call from a non-existent number, so I almost guarantee you that is a telemarketer. Remember the guy who fought about the permanently covered tendrils? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, you're still a meme. So, okay, what did I do here last time? So, I think I had set up, I wanted crossings or something maybe over here. And then a road, you know. Okay, hold on. I need to get my thoughts straight. I can do this better than I did last time. And also I can do it right the first time. Because last time, for those of you who saw last episode, you probably recall that it took me 3 attempts to get the industries right because I kept putting them on the wrong layer. So let's not make that mistake again. And yeah, so I want cars to be able to get around here. So let's get some gravel texture. Buckeye, I hope you've learned. That's my only hope. I hope you've learned, because we all look back on that with amusement, because it's fun to cling to things that are ridiculous. Gunda says, so who is happy about the East Broad Top reactivating? I am. I'll say that. I am. I went and professed to Madison and my mother as quickly as I could. I was like, hey, the EBT! Madison, of course, she knows what it is because we've been there. But it was on Valentine's Day, and my mom was like, I don't know, Valentine. I was like, the East Broad Top will be your Valentine. And she's like, what is that? I was like, it's coming back. I said in the trailer. EBT is Yeetus. I love the EBT. I'm so glad that the EBT is coming back. It's the kind of thing that I think Chris put it best when he said something along the lines of, you know, I always thought about it, but I never thought I would see it in my lifetime. I love like W, he says. I don't know what that means. Oops, that's not what I want. I want this texture. 2 hours away. Oh, you're 2 hours away from the EBT. Lucky you. I'm a lot farther from the EBT. I'm a lot farther from most things, except for Essex, actually. Essex is my closest steam railroad, and even then they're in another state. There are no functioning steam engines in the state of Rhode Island. I have never been to the East Broad Top Railroad, so I don't know how to react about the EBT Railroad revival. I mean, if you're a fan of steam trains, you should be happy about it. That's my take on it. We've got nothing to lose with the EBT being finally taken over by somebody who isn't the Kovalchiks. Now, don't get me wrong, the Kovalchiks did a really great job of what's the word? But keeping tabs on it, making sure that nothing happened to it, making sure nothing, you know, it didn't get parted out and stuff like that, you know. That was one of the biggest concerns, one of the things that they were trying to avoid for many years, is that, you know, they wouldn't sell the railroad off piecemeal. And I mean, they did sell some to that trolley museum, but, you know, it's not like we lost an engine here and a freight car there and a coach here. It's still whole for the most part. It's probably the most whole railroad specimen, maybe in the U.S. I'm not sure if you can stretch it and say maybe the Katz is, because the Katz is the Katz, but that was like, okay, this is going to be a heritage thing. We're going to turn it into a heritage thing. Whereas the East Broad Top existed as a private, ostensibly as a private coal company for decades later than, well, then it really had any business being, if, you know, ain't that right. I bet Weibold is happy for Monera Gauge, says Gunda, and, I mean, he is. He's happy because, well, he was at the EBT as well. Him and Chris and TJ and Madison and I, we all went to the EBT together, and we spun the turntable. And one of my big missed opportunities from that trip, Nevada Northern is a good one, but Nevada Northern is, Nevada Northern, like, it's not as original, you know? It's not this huge collection that never left. Don't get me wrong, I think Nevada Northern is great, and I also love their cat. I want to go out there specifically to meet Dirt the cat, but someday. Whenever I decide to go to Vegas. Baby. Gunda says it was declared the most original by the Smithsonian. I can believe that. That makes a lot of sense to me. So, that settles it. Most original. Thank you, East Broad Top, for continuing to exist. Dean says Bustin'. Dean, you probably already saw this, but I learned recently that you can get vanity plates in the antique plate style for Rhode Island, and I may get Bustin', the antique vanity plate. It's 6 letters. 6 letters is all you get on a Rhode Island vanity plate. So, I have never been, or really even thought about going to the Nevada Northern, dirt aside. It's so far from me, and it's also really, I mean, it's in Nevada, it's in the middle of nowhere. If you were going out there, you were committed. It's like going to the Cats, but worse. If you go to the Cats, you are going out there for the Cats. There's no other reason to go out there. And the Nevada Northern is that, but more intense, because it's Nevada. So, DD Cheney says, hey DT. Lower that a little bit. I want the railheads to be visible. I think you do the same with Tennessee plates. See, I didn't even consider the idea that you could get a vanity plate that wasn't the regular plate. Now your plate's going to be Bombs 321. Yeah, BMS 321. That'd be a good one. One of the ones that I was actually thinking of, because you can get, I don't think I could get BM 3713 because it can be 3 letters and 3 numbers, but not 4 numbers, 2 letters. It's kind of oddly specific, the requirements, but I could get PRRGG1, which is something that I thought about if I ever wanted to paint up a car like a GG1, I could have that as the vanity plate. That's available. I've checked. Man, if I sit here and grouse though, my neck and my back are absolutely killing me. I'm getting a new mattress soon, so it's much needed. You could say it is very much needed. Okay, so we're gonna have to put the coal on top of this. Now, I don't know where to go next after this immediately. I also heard CNO 614 be painted black again. That's gonna be weird, but I welcome it, because despite the fact that hashtag they were green, I don't like green engines. Engines should be painted black as nature and God intended. It is the true steam locomotive color. You can tell because they always end up that way. Maybe Admiral. ADMRIL. That'd be a good one. That's a clever one. I appreciate you trying to come up with this. We need a coal pile. Coal. Can I get a pile of coal? That is not a pile. Conveyor. There's a, let's see. That's too big. Coal spill. Yeah, that's what we need. Oh, game is kind of freaking out. Admiral. Yeah, Admiral would probably be better if you cut out the I. It's only 5 characters. So you're not using the whole thing, but it's probably better. Dean, I tend to agree with you. Either way, I'm not about to go get a, better yet, Chadmiral. That's 7 letters. I can't do that. Oh well. Okay, so we've got coal there. Can we get like a bulldozer? Let's just see if we can get an old bulldozer. Also, did I put these over here? I thought I added some other... Ooh! See, we did work here, and now I can't remember what it was. Caterpillar bulldozer. How old is this? No, it's way too new. Oops! Oh, great. Damn it. The only green engines I like are Southern Crescent and 4501. I don't like really either of them. I don't... Not a fan. Not a fan of green engines. Even 491. I don't... I don't like 491 being green. Again, even though historically hashtag they were green. I'm there, I'm with it. However, I'm all for they were green, not they should be green. Okay, so we can't have a nice old bulldozer. Maybe just dozer? There we go. That's better. This thing looks a little bit older. But Nation Raritor says, hey, I like green engines. Well, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong here. But no, it's a matter of opinion, of course. But my opinion is very strong. And it's not going anywhere. Gosh darn it. Dang it, Ellis, we don't pay you to mess up. We don't pay you at all. But that's another story. You're right, you don't... Hey, wait a minute, you don't pay me. I quit. Give me these. For the record, those weren't there. I just put them there before I started recording. Let's park some cars back. Oh, that's a tree. That's a building. Alright, it's going to be one of these, huh? Alright, let's put this somewhere else. Let's rotate it the way we want. And then let's move it into place. Trinman. T-R-N-M-A-N. It's a good one. I like it in theory. The thing is, the thing with Train Man, right? So you guys know that in recent years I've tried to get away from Train Man a little bit, and I don't think it's anything wrong with the name. The reason that I've tried to do that is because, well, there are an awful lot of Train Mans out there. And I think the Admiral is a better persona. Now, I found out earlier today that my coworkers have found my YouTube channel. Not this one, though. They found the other one, which is potentially much more embarrassing. The Admiral Ellis YouTube channel has been dormant for many, many years, and at this point, I don't really have plans to reactivate it. I have merged in as much Admiral Ellis stuff as I can with, sort of with the Iron Horsemen. I sort of folded it in. They're not in the same universe, but it's all under the same record label now, so to speak. And so I'm okay with not having that be its own thing, because I never had enough content to put on it anyway. I don't really want to shut the channel down, but something I might do, and this is, you know, just me brainstorming, change the name of this channel to Admiral Ellis. I know Bombs321 has been around for a very long time, but it's, you know, it's time. And then change the other one to Admiral Ellis 2, because that's fairly typical. That's what people do. So, that's my first thoughts. And I've been trying to figure out what to do about that for quite some time, and you know, I haven't really thought about it lately, but here we are. Okay, the other thing I want is a forklift. Although I had something here before. Oh, forklift. 825 forklift. I don't know if that's... I thought I had like a manual forklift thing or something. Citrus paint scheme. Sorry, I missed that one. I've never seen the citrus paint scheme. Admiral LS2 Bombs321 Boogaloo, says Matt. Matt. Yeah, that's what it's like. Hand forklift. This is what I was using, and I want some piles of lumber. So, let's grab lumbar. I almost wrote lumbar, just because. That's a cabin. Oh, hey, this is fixed. That's handy. Lumber stack, 1x2. That's more like it. The other thing I wanted to do was build like a shelter. And I never got around to it. Okay, we also need to put, like I said, we need to put the multiple industries in, finally. Multi-industry. It's these guys, I think, are the best ones for the job. They're not too short, they're not too long. We're going to need one over there, and we're going to need one over here. Do you use PBR? Pensifan says, do you use PBR or ground textures on Tolbrin, or not really a fan of them? Question mark. I think I'm still working in Tane, so I don't think I have PBR textures. I would like to use them, but I'm not super familiar with them. I use basically whatever I come across. I have just accumulated stuff over time and time and time and time, and so I have all these things, all these textures and objects and stuff. You know, you see me just scroll through my list because I don't even know what I have. I have no idea. DD Cheney says, I didn't know you changed your name on Steam at first. Yeah, it was honestly kind of rash. I don't tend to regret a lot of things, but I wish I had left. You know, you can see other aliases when you click on somebody's Steam name, but I found out you could delete those. And when I changed my name, I immediately deleted the previous alias, and I'm not really sure why I did. It was just like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this. And then I did. And it was like, now nobody's going to know. And so it took a little while, and there are still some people that don't know that I am Admiral Ellis. And so I'll go to try to watch somebody's broadcast for the podcast, and they'll be like, who are you? I'm like, it's me. You know me. You know who I am. It's Ellis. Who's Ellis? Train Man. The guy who runs the podcast. Oh, okay, yeah. And they're like, oh, that podcast? Get out of here. Okay, so this is the Lionhead Colliery number drop-off. How's Madison feeling? She feels like crap. She called me a little while ago, and she was coughing her lungs out and asking if I knew something else that she could drink that would help. And I was like, more water. She's like, I've been drinking water all day, and I was like, yeah, but more water is always good for you. She had tea. She wants something else to drink. I'm just like, I can't. And I'm not talking like booze, obviously. Like, I don't think soda will help. I don't think anything carbonated will help your chest hurting. But, oh well, she's gonna do her. I think she's sticking it out. She's gonna be at work. Hey Ellis, I have an idea. How about you and the Iron Horseman team stream on YouTube playing Cards Against Humanity? That'd be a fun one. We have the, it's me who's me cliche intensified. Yeah. We have the Iron Horseman card pack that we have not used in a while. Yeah, I hope she gets better soon too. She got sick really fast, and I had what she has, I think, and I was out of it for a while. That's why, like, I made one podcast in a 6-week stretch, and I made like no other videos because I was not great. And I just realized that because I'm doing this, I'm not going to be able to make Under Construction, or sorry, the Zombie Train out of it. Oh well. Stop doing that. I just find out because you was watching me play Train Sim. Yeah. Well, we needed something. Give me this. This is going to be Lionhead Oil drop-off. I'm still not sure what I'm going to put here. Get her some Gatorade. I don't think Gatorade helps with a cough. Also, I think there's Gatorade in the fridge. I personally am not a fan of Gatorade. It's nothing against Gatorade in particular. I just don't like... I mean, I don't like a lot of drinks. To the point where TJ made fun of me for only having water during the course of the entire Pennsylvania special trip, which was like a week. And I was just like, this is normal me. This is what I do. I drink water. I drink lots of water, and I don't see a problem with that. And, like, rarely you'll catch me drinking ginger ale. Wait, what is Madison's symptoms? My mom is a nurse. Maybe she can help you figure out what is wrong. It's just a viral cough. It's nothing to write home about. He washes you playing trains. Yeah, I wash him. I wash. Where are the tanks that I used? Gatorade, real gator with every bite. Ugh. Oh, let's, park one of these over here. That's cool. Sounds like Florida. Yeah, that's what I thought, too. Alright, let's... Well, I don't really like these. These are too small. Okay, can I find another one? I don't want anything gigantic. Oh, these. These are what I was using. It was a different one, though. So, there we go. These. SMH pineapple juice. Yeah, the pineapple lives on. Speaking of which, people on the Discord, submit your emojis. Once I get 10, I'll put them on the server. Okay. I'm not sure what to fill in these gaps with. Oh, that's a something. What is that? That is a text. Who text? Oh no, what is this? Okay, I just got sent some maps by my mom. She knows I like maps. I don't know what it's of, but I'll find out later. I got sent... I was playing something with people the other day, and my mom sent me an hour-long comedy sketch. Not sketch. Like a comedy show, I guess, of... Oh, what's his name? John Mulaney. John Mulaney is one of the funniest people on the planet. And we went into the music chat on Discord, and we had the bot play that, and that was hilarious. Hold my milk, glanced at all the memes to turn into emojis. Yeah, I mean, the Iron Horseman meme doc is pretty extensive. I'm only taking one submission per person. Well, two submissions per person right now. So, I have you write down who you are when you submit. What's Discord name? Iron Horseman? Yeah, you can get to the Iron Horseman Discord in the cargoes of any Terminus podcast. Or any of the recent ones. When was this? When was what? When was which? Yeah, look in the cargo of the Terminus. The thing is, and this was to separate the men from the boys, as it were. So you go in, you're going to be presented with a few channels, rules, stuff like that. Read up, and then if you are a fan of the channel, like for reals, you can go and you can put a... there is a meme doc, but it's restricted. We have a thing where you post like, hey, you know, I am Gundathorn or Throne. God damn it, I'm Gundathrone, and I have been a fan of Ellis for this long, and I love this, and I like that, and I think, you know, I want to do this and whatever. That's the way, and you have to like write your little speech about who you are and why you're here, and you know, whatever. Because we had a real problem with just random people coming in and that didn't know who I was, and it was like, okay, this is... oh, the comedy bit played on Discord, when was this? I don't know, like a week ago? I didn't go into the main chat with it. I didn't go into Iron Horseman Radio or anything. I just took it into one of the Horseman-specific chats, like the higher-level chats. Because we were in a call, and I was like, alright, you guys want to listen to this? Because everybody loves John Mulaney. Speaking of which, tomorrow's Friday. I might run the radio again. I've been trying to do that like once a week. It also means that I get in there and put in all the new songs, because it's easy to forget to do that, and then they sort of pile up. I hate going in there and having all the songs of the day, like, alright, let me put these all in. Instead of taking a minute every day, it takes like 20 out of my week. I was about to say I don't remember that. Yeah, no. Most people couldn't see it. It was only a handful of people in there. Anyway. It was just like let's do this. I'm just saying it out loud in case my mother's watching. She will sometimes randomly comment on a Terminus podcast. I'm like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? Why are you listening to this? We don't even have actual fans. Okay. Okay, let's... Gunda, since you're here with everyone else, and everyone else is hearing, or is seeing you write things, I feel like people are going to be pretty receptive to you showing up anyway. So, you and Buckeye. Oh. Austin Smith. Hey Ellis, what do you think of the new East Broadtop movement? Oh, we were just talking about that. Uh, sorry, I missed your. I just saw Pat's thing. Um, I'm super excited. I think the group of people that is now in charge is fantastic. And I am excited for whatever the next step is. So, anyway, uh, yeah, and Gunda or anybody else that wants to join the Discord, if you don't get in right away, or if you don't get the chance to make a poll right away, or whatever, don't get discouraged. If you hang around in the most basic channel and just be nice and you know, generally be cool, strike up good conversation, stuff like that. If you get people to like you, then you are, you know, you're golden. It's not that hard to get in. Read the rules, follow the rules, be civil, or else I'll throw you in the gulag and you won't come out. Now that the EBT is back, I need to get back to Pennsylvania. Well, I wouldn't rush, but yes, you do. Pat, I can never nail down where you're from. We talked about this, right? You know, you said you're from North Carolina or Carolinas, because we were talking about baseball. We were talking about, you know, that sort of thing, and we were talking about Sweet Caroline. That's right. This was the other day or yesterday or whatever, and it's like, I could never pick. Like, I knew there were people near me. I think I got you and Railord mixed up. What happens in Gulag stays in Gulag. No, what happens in Gulag everyone can see. Austin Smith says, do you think there's a possibility to rebuild to Mount Union? Doesn't the line still, it's still there, isn't it? To Mount Union? I've been to Mount Union. That's where the shed is with number 3. The line is there, I'm pretty sure. It's just in a mess. Oh my god. Oh my good Ellis. Texas, I'm from Texas. Okay, who is the Carolinian? Who is the Carolinian? Now I'm real confused. There are way too many people that I fail to keep track of. Fort Worth and Denver Blues with Patrick. Oh, go find Kevon. Alright. Gotta fill all this in. Go find Kevon and tell him to send the FL9s back. And to buy more Q2s. I don't know. Northernmost section is the only part of that the new management doesn't have control of. Okay, yeah. Because that's... Who is that owned by? I don't remember. But it's, you know... Line is there, but it's really rough and would basically be like building a whole new line. No. It's not. It's not. Because the cuts and fills and everything and the bridges, etc. If it's there, it's there. And it would be difficult, I agree, but memorial for the greatest president in U.S. history. Right. It's going to be a lot easier than rebuilding a line from scratch. Look at, even for something so simple, look at the EBT situation versus the WWNF. The Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington, yeah, they have an easier time a little bit because they're a little smaller. But they own all the property for the most part. And they are, you know, it's tough for them to build, but they have a pretty good time. You know, they have a relatively easy time building Essex and stuff like that. Compared to if you've got like a rough right-of-way. I mean, the WWF, it's pretty rough. 2 foot does not really make an impression on the landscape around it. So, it is almost impossible to see where they ran on like a topographic map. And you're left with, okay, we know the line went through here and this is where the property borders are. The EBT, because they have basically continuity of rail, you know where it goes. You've got your dirt where it needs to be. And yeah, things are going to need work, but no, there's no way it is going to be, it won't be half as difficult as building a line from scratch. I feel like Kevon Ellis. I own 4 BLI Brass Hybrid Sino Greenbriers. I had to work my arse off buying and selling and working overtime. Yeah, Kevon does that stuff. Kevon is like a merchant. Pensy Fan says hashtag they were green. Yes, they were. If people didn't get the chance to read through that thread that Jader posted in the fan chat earlier, go read it. It's a few years old now. I didn't even realize that. But that is the definitive they were green thread, basically. From before they were green was a movement. We've created a movement, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's put that back there. Let's put that back over there. I guess if there was a rail bed at one point, then you don't have much of a problem. The problem comes in, from my understanding, it is... the hurdles get a lot bigger when you get legalese involved. Now, the East Broadtop and the WWF have the benefit of... what's the word? The benefit of owning the land that they're on. And the Valley Railroad as well. I mean, they don't technically own it. It belongs to the state of Connecticut. But they effectively own it. There's no dispute there over who gets to do what with that land. The Valley Railroad says we want to fix our track, and the state says go ahead. There's really no two ways about it. The Cherry Days left the chat. The Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington is very similar because of weird property abandonment laws in Maine, and weird and very lax, I guess. They really never had to get rid of their stuff. So, Conrail Blount. We have one of those. Actually, do I have him? Hold on. I have... hold on. I think I do. I thought we had a Conrail Blount. Conrail Blount. He's blue. Where is it? Oh, yep. Because it's the old model. Turned this wrong way around. Very blue. Patrick says, I need to go to the Valley Railroad. Yes, you do, and while you're up my way, come say hello. Come to the Providence Northern, I'll buy you a club car. Oh, I need a drink. Yeah, so... Gunnar just said about $600 for a BLI model. That's about your price. No, no, please, no. I think we just got to Conrail Blount in the chat. That goes to Gulag. Conrail Blount, Conrail Blount. I have more. Just to say, I have more. This was made. Busted up Conrail Sam. I've got Penn Central Coal. This is stuff that was made for the series that hasn't been used. Conrail Sally. This is probably really, really blue. Why is there Conrail everything? Spoilers. Yeah, she's real blue. Conrail Dan. Is he? Yeah, he's blue. Everyone's blue. And then somebody else made... hold on. Somebody else made the GS4. So it looks a little different. But the problem is this doesn't look that bad. That is the biggest problem with the Conrail GS4. Is it doesn't look that bad. I should hate it way more than I do. Oh, we have Conrail Chris. Is he really blue or is he still black? It's been a long time. As a modeler, I'm dying from pain and cringe. The Conrail CN makes me feel creepy. Oh my god, he's so blue. Oh my god, don't stare into this. Oh. Anyway, oh, by the way, there's a possibility I'll be going to the Roaring Camp in Big Trees Narrow Gauge this summer, says Pat. That is awesome. I've always wanted to go to the Roaring Camp. I've never really been out that way. I was out that way to see TBA with Madison a couple of years ago, but I didn't get the chance to go to Roaring Camp because we didn't do too much train stuff because it was a train trip. Like, we went to the Grand Canyon Road, the Grand Canyon Railroad, but it's not like we went out there. Like, we went out there on an Amtrak adventure. Okay, the curse stuff is over, so everyone's saying no, 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 no. Alright, the curse stuff is over. I'm done with the Conrail stuff. I actually like the color on the GS4, says Austin. Yeah, see, that's That's the problem. It's not that bad. Hitler gets 2102 and it gets restored. Good God. Anything Conrail is bad. Conrail, man. Conrail is one of those railroads that I have really, really mixed feelings about. The New Haven is another one, but Conrail, man. Okay, the thing about Conrail, it's the hero that nobody wanted, but the hero that we needed. It was... We had Penn Central. Penn Central was a disaster, a nightmare. The worst thing that's ever happened to railroading, possibly. And aside from the invention of the internal combustion engine. But, and Conrail was like, you are going to go and fix this. Conrail was the Batman. Conrail was not what the people or the railroads wanted, but it's what needed to happen. See, I don't mind Penn Central. Gunda says, see, I don't mind Penn Central because it's cheap in HO scale if you look for it. Yeah, that's fair. Wait a minute, the first episode starts with a manager talking about Conrail breathing down our throats to sell, Pensy Fan says. Dun, dun, dun. Conrail is a symbol of communism in the United States. No, but I see where you're getting that. Conrail was Conrail was nationalization because it needed to happen. Amtrak is the same way. Amtrak is nobody else was going to realistically be able to pick up the torch that had been left behind. Bernie is the symbol of communism. I'm once again asking for your financial support. Let's not get super political. Last time we got political, I talked about communism for 3 episodes, and people got like, "Why are you doing this?" Amtrak and Conrail was a symbol of communism in the United States. I mean, it's more of a symbol of nationalization, and I get where you're coming from because it's easy to just call something communism, but on one hand, Conrail's parents got killed and then swore to seek revenge. Oh man, Pester used to make the railroad comics. Those were the best. I think it was Pester, right? Anyway. He had a talent. Anyway. I'm not sure I agree with the Conrail communism thing, but I see where the connection is there to be made. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I absolutely see where you're coming from. Anyway, Amtrak is a constant frustration because they put somebody in charge that doesn't care about Amtrak. That's the story of the last several years, is putting somebody in charge of something when they actively hate it. Now Ivan, now that's communism. Now that is what I call communism. Put that on the front of a CD. And just make it all Russian hard bass. Actually, I discovered a genre of music called Soviet Wave. Yes, it is a real thing, and it's not bad, but the thing is, like I like synthwave and stuff. I listen to it at work. It's good background music. And Soviet Wave is sort of like that, but it's way chiller, and it incorporates things that I, as an individual who did not grow up in the Soviet Union, can't really appreciate. So I'm just like, yeah, this sounds neat. Some people see Conrail as a negative. It wiped out many of the people's favorite roads, but financially it was the smartest decision they could make. Frankly, I think it was the only decision they could make. Their hands were completely tied. There was no way that anybody was coming out of that better. Was CR that bad? Depends who you ask. I think that's what it boils down to. The railroads that died at Conrail's hand, yeah, it was pretty bad. But for the railroading industry as a whole, especially the Northeast railroading industry, it had to happen, I'm afraid. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but is the reason why Penn Central went bankrupt was because the ICC forced the PC to take over the New Haven or something like that? Okay. Yes and no. The New Haven was in a disastrous spot. The New Haven had embezzled itself to death. They had tried to hold a monopoly that, despite being good for them in the beginning, made absolutely no sense. they were crippled by deferred maintenance because of the embezzlement. And they had also dieselized immediately. They had nothing to fall back on. Not even saying that that was a bad decision, but in some cases it led them to trouble. Like, for example, with the FL9s, among other experimental locomotives and trains that basically were huge failed publicity stunts and did not get them anything. They had a really great user base. They had a really great, what's the word? Like, they had lots of people to pull from for customers, but that did not save them. In my head, the Interstate Commerce Commission forced the New Haven into the merger, or allowed the New Haven into the merger, as punishment because they knew Penn Central was going to be terrible. But Penn Central was not the only reason that, or sorry, the New Haven was not the only reason that Penn Central failed. Penn Central was on the downward spiral even before the New Haven came in, because you had two roads that had literally been at each other's throats for a century, and as Gunda just pointed out, parallel lines for the most part, that you had two management styles that would absolutely conflict. You had basically nothing to gain by the two of them being under one roof, and you had it's like trying to fit. It's like acting in a movie when you've got the wrong part, to steal the Elton John lyric. There was no way that they were going to get along, and no way that they were going to probably ever turn a profit. And the New Haven came in there and just tanked the thing. And if you ask me, I've talked about this on the show a little bit before, if you ask me, that was the best thing that could have happened for the New Haven, for Penn Central, for railroading as a whole. Because if it had lasted longer, the inherent problems with the regulation of the railroad industry at the time versus the newfangled trucking industry would not have been so apparent and would not have been corrected in time, or, nearly as quickly. Race to close the most main lines between the three class zones. Merging two companies that hate each other was the death of the PRR in New York Central. Yeah. There are many, many factors, but the animosity between the two companies and the fact that they didn't really gain any service area by merging. They didn't really touch any new areas. So you look at Penn Central and go, why? We have a guy in the Discord that is very, very well educated on mergers and railroad politics and stuff like that. And he loves to talk about this sort of thing. Hey, at least Penn Central was better than Enron? I don't know about that. That is a really... the only difference is the government didn't show up and bail Enron out. Also, when I think of Enron, I can't not think about... Who just did thing? Yes. Pat just sent me an hour of Soviet Wave. I've watched that video before. Thank you. There's another one that I can post that I like a lot more. And it's really only one track in there that I absolutely adore, but I love it. Proceeds to lose shipments for a month because I don't know how to communicate. Proceeds to ruin the entire year's potato crop from Maine, and by forgetting it in the yard and not refilling the reefers for weeks. And then, wait, you talking about Crovazone? Crovazone? What is Crovazone? Oh, no, I'm talking about Shortline. Sorry, Shortline. UP split, go Southern Pacific. UP is going to shrivel and shrink, continue to do so. UP and NS. They're cutting like crazy. I'm no expert on this, so don't take what I'm saying as like expert testimony. I'm not Mona Lisa Vito. And if I really hope people in the chat understand that reference, because goddamn, if you don't, when this stream is over, go find My Cousin Vinny on your streaming service of choice and watch it. My god, it's got to be one of my favorite video. Cruvis Zone. There's nothing Cruvis with me. Thank you, Dean. Dean, I may have mentioned this to you, but Rod McKay shows up in Midway for a very brief period at the beginning. He's like the previous intelligence officer. Now, I know he has an actual name, but he's Rodney McKay to me. Okay, so we did this. Lionhead, basically done. Where do you guys want me to go next? Now, I've got lots of grass to do. Well, you the expert, Ellis. I'm not. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Didn't I do a whole bunch more? I thought I did. Here's just an idea. Sell it all to Genesee. No. No. Leave my railroads alone, Orange Plague. Although maybe Iowa Pacific should have done that. I am not the expert on anything. I have picked up a lot of things from a lot of places, and I can talk confidently about a great many subjects, but my actual knowledge of them is very limited. I am a jack of all trades, and it really comes from hanging around with people like Milky and Weibold and Chris and Mason and I mean, I can name everybody in the group and talk about how they have contributed to my knowledge of various things. I didn't know a tenth of what I know about firearms before I knew Dean, and now I feel like I can talk competently about firearms to some extent. And Weibold just about steam engines. Like, I know I'm a foamer. I grew up loving trains, but nobody is more knowledgeable in that group about steam locomotives than Brett Weibold, and I am thankful for his input every time he opens his mouth most of the time. Ellis, one question I'm meaning to ask are, what are the different classes of GER Pacifics again, just for reskinning stuffs? Okay, let's go over there. I have them set up over here, and you can tell. So there are 4 classes of Pacifics. They're in increments of 50? Yeah, increments of 50. This is one of them. Not sure if this is the newest or oldest. Oh, this doesn't have a number. This is one of them. Let's see. This is another one. I think this is the oldest or second oldest. Don't get in a car with Chris. I already know that. But thank you. Second oldest, maybe. So anyway, it's these guys, which are the Great Northern ones. Those are from Train Boy. These guys, okay, these are the oldest ones. The 900 series. So that means these are the 3rd oldest ones or the 2nd newest ones. I need more Pittsburgh and Shawmut. So it was these, and then these. These are the 2nd oldest. Wait. And then these. That doesn't seem right. Why is that number? Wait. Oh, of course. These. No. Alright, I'm screwing up. These are the oldest. These are the 2nd oldest. These are the 3rd oldest. Yeah, 1105. And then these are the newest. Okay. There's the one I made already, yeah. So, this is the one you made already. I have it somewhere. TP. And I think I okayed this. I can't remember if I had said these are good now. This text is crooked. I think I wanted you to fix the tender text. Yeah. That's what I wanted you to fix, that's right. I haven't checked in a while. See the old 5022? Yeah, these guys are the VMR's premier passenger engines. Like every single passenger train of theirs uses that. Pat Fox says, "How was everyone's day?" I don't know, mine was alright. Oh wait, this is the Lionhead turn, by the way, and I think I need to change it a little bit. Matt, not God, says Buckeye Railroader. Matt, I blame you for making my temptation stronger. K11's still sitting for later. Okay, so, anyway. These freight trains, they need to get worked on. Honestly, part of me wants to forget the AI thing and redo it again from scratch when I get into 2019. I know that sounds like it sounds like insanity. Oh, this looks so good now, though. It sounds like insanity because I have come as far as I have, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot more work. There's so many reskins engines because I need to learn how... Well, Matt just said he reskinned these guys for me. Sort of. Well, he did a little bit of touching up. He added this over here. Something I wish he could have done is lifted them out of the rail a little bit, but hey, I don't know how you would actually do that. That's definitely not reskinning. But he knows, and there are other people in the Discord who do know. There are a group of very knowledgeable people. Buckeye, what's the matter? Your mom is in the ER. Hope she's gonna be okay. What have I just done? Give me this line. No, god damn it. Get out of here. Get out of here. Stop putting it in the pick list. Stop. Okay. That's just how it's gonna be, huh? Sure, fine, whatever, screw it. Get out of here. Oh man, why am I dumb? There we go. I just want my piano. AI in Trains 19 is fun. Well, I hope it is. I have enough trouble with it here. I need to do grass, and I need to do grass quickly. It's the kind of thing to do on stream. Trains, a new error strikes again. Stomachs are hurting her for a couple of days. I hope it's not like appendicitis or something. I mean, at least we know how to fix appendicitis, but still, sucks. My dad thought he had appendicitis a couple of times. Turned out to be kidney stones. I'm not looking forward to that in my life. That's why I drink a lot of water. Well, I drink water because I like water, but it's a good reason to drink water. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay. Is inflammation around our hernia which will require emergency surgery. Yikes. Okay, herniated. Hernia. I know what that is. And it isn't good. You know, I hope it benefits you to be able to say it out loud, although I'm sure you've been talking to people. It's, you know, one of the most important things is talking to people about the things that are bothering you. I always like to be there for people that want to talk to me. But, of course, I am a human being, and I've got stuff to do. Oh, Matt's gonna go fix the Pacific. Awesome. You shame someone publicly, and they get right on it. Man, I should do this more often. Anyway, something else I could do on one of these streams is, oh, you know what? I wonder if I can. Hold on. This might be a little dumb. Excuse me if it doesn't work out. Documents, Bandicam, Zombie Train topics. What's next? Ports. I've got 4 comments from Eastrail asking about Zombie Train stuff. Ports, vandalism, disease, unloaded trains. All back to back to back to back. I actually don't feel like pulling open the tab to see what the full text of them is, but, you know. Comrade Ellis le gusta agua porque inteligente. I knew some of those words. Austin Smith, me is still trying to hang on to Trains 2019 because I don't have the computer for 2019. Oh, man. So the thing is, and I'm glad you're saying 2012 to 2019, because there is no reason, in this day and age, there is no reason to get Tane. I say that as I'm playing Tane, but I own 2019. There is no reason. 2019 has more features than Tane and performs better than Tane. So, if somebody wants to buy trains, if you've got a really shoddy computer, maybe get 12, but get 19. Don't skimp. Go right for the balls. Right for the latest version. Austin, same. Yeah, I knew Matt was going to chime in with that. I know that is not an unfamiliar sentiment throughout the horsemen, throughout the group. Okay. Whoa! Computer. Easy does it. Hio Silver. Alright, so I am just gonna do this with these because we're out of sight. Then I'm gonna work on something else that probably doesn't... Oh no, did it not save what I did before? Did I lose all of that? Because that is gonna make me sad. I need to check on something because that's gonna make me sad. Multiplayer surveyor hype indeed. I bet you I lost all this progress. Oh man, it's like the episode didn't even happen. Oh man, that makes me so sad. I was so happy with the way this turned out. Damn it. I think it did work over here too. Oh man. Oh man, and I filled in these. It was like that whole episode didn't happen. Angery. Oh well. We gotta do it. We gotta do it again. It's like I have that episode to pull up. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it never really happened. I think I lost all that progress because of the updates to Tane. It sort of, it sort of killed the edits that I had saved. You know, because Tane went through a database repair after the update. Rats. So that's what it did. Jointed Rail is like, yeah, if you don't have 19, well, sucks for you. I mean, that's Jointed Rail for you. They make some good content, but they have never been the most consumer-friendly. I've always thought they were wicked overpriced. I've never bought anything from Jointed Rail. Yeah. I've gotten some of their freeware. I do enjoy the freeware, but it's free. That's why I enjoy it. I don't think I'd spend money on the stuff that they peddle. Again, it's not bad. It's just expensive. And it isn't really up my alley as much. I mean, K&L is much closer to the heart for me. Hence the ridiculous amount of K&L stuff that I have. Like, let's see. There we go. No, this one, no, yep, no, that's not it. Let's see, I mean, I've got those are K&L. These are not. Why did I get the M1? When did I buy the M1? I don't even remember purchasing this. Maybe I got it by accident. There's a non-zero chance that I got this via a route review by accident, so probably shouldn't have this. One engine is not worth $20. When someone get trains 19, turn off physics simulation, you get better FPS. Yes. I got all the K4s. What are you? Oh, lordy. That's on the DLS. I can use that. I wouldn't want to, but I can. My J1's broken. Why do I have the J1? I shouldn't have that either. I never bought the J1. That's for sure. I've become an accidental pirate. I need to get back to work on my content. Gotta make it worth it for the museum and consumer, says Pensy Fan. Yeah, well, dude, your stuff is gorgeous already. I did some research on today's Song of the Day. It was recorded for a Southern Pacific produced safety program in the 80s. I don't even have trains, but even I know K&L makes great stuff. Oh yeah, we were just talking about Shoreline. Hey, Shoreline. Give me the power poles. Alright. If I do get 2019, is there a way to port in my 12 routes? Yes. Yes, there is. You can export them from 12 to CDP, and then just bring them in, like any other piece of DLC. Shortline, so that he doesn't have to... Yeah, well, it's an accident. I'll delete the stuff. We were talking about how You are very knowledgeable, and by we, I mean I. We were talking about how knowledgeable you are when it comes to mergers and railroad politics and stuff like that. Whenever you chime in with something, it's always good. It's always real good. So I appreciate it. It's one of the things, you're one of the people I can name in my list of people that have forwarded my my knowledge of various railroad things significantly. Okay, so we got some power poles in here. Has the poles ever had any power? Haha, history joke. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that meme where it's like, what was everyone's goal of World War II? And Poland is to exist, to not die. Actually, maybe that was their goal of World War I as well. The sticks always had the power. Now you're making me think of, what's that Rush song about the oaks and the maples? The sticks and the poles. I mean, the poles were pretty good when they had the winged hussars. So, you know. When Sabaton writes a song about you, that's top notch. Also, I didn't actually see what the song of the day was today. It's one of those things where I wake up and I see it. I see that someone's posted SOTD and I pin it. And I go, I'll deal with this later. Usually. Matt, leave, says Patrick. Yeah, the puns have been out of control. They need to stop in general. Like, not specifically with Matt, but Matt is definitely a culprit. Stephen White, Jonah Rail has some decent stuff. It's expensive. The free stuff is decent. Okay. So, case in point, good merger. Chessie system, bad merger, Penn Central. I don't know much about Chessie. I know it existed. I know it came and it went. You might be interested in something I learned today. In 1989, Conrail looked into Bryan and Providence and Worcester, mostly to gain access to Port of Providence. That's interesting because of how closely Conrail almost owned them in the first place, because they were just part of the New Haven. It is really interesting to see how the Providence and Worcester managed to end up on their own, despite the fact that they were under the thumb of other railroads for decades. And that is something I wish I understood more. They even had discussions about it until the president of Conrail stopped taking calls from the Providence and Worcester. That's kind of funny. I guess he was too annoying. The whole bread pun thing that happened was amazing. No, it wasn't. Bomb Studio 1, what about Seaboard System? I don't really know much about them either. There are like, okay, so I know the modern railroads, and I know the railroads of the transition era, and I know some of the railroads before that. And then in between, I have some very rudimentary FOMR knowledge of, like, the railroads that existed. And usually it's centered around Conrail and Penn Central, because that's the easiest thread to pick up and the easiest one to understand. You know, people get into it about the Western Pacific and the Southern Pacific and the Rio Grande and the Union Pacific and how all that came to pass. And it all just sort of, like, it doesn't go in one ear and out the other, but it's a lot for me to take in that I don't understand, that I don't know. Was that another text? Oh, I didn't look at it. No, it's an email from Ancestry. Possible record matches in the Temelio family tree. I haven't looked at that in forever. I want you guys to look something up. Because this is really freaking creepy. And I want to know if it'll show up for everybody. So, okay. This is going to be a journey into the history of Ellis Temelio. Conrad's going to go just like Amtrak, yes. Journey into the history of Ellis Temelio. If you guys don't care, that's fine, I understand. Meanwhile, my ZSR 210.0 with gold boiler bands looking EBT. Do I have that? Yeah, I do. I think it's not gold yet. I think this one is. Also, this font should be fancier. Yeah, I'm waiting for this to get spiffed up. I'm looking forward to it. Oh crap, where was I? Oh yeah, journey into my family history. So if anyone here has seen the television show, I know it broadcasts nationally. Guys, have you heard of the 11'8" bridge in North Carolina? Well, another truck just hit it today. Isn't it 11'8" plus 8 now? But that's amazing. I've been following it for years. The 11'8" is one of my favorite bridges on the planet. Don't worry about it right now, Matt, because I'm not going to be able to do anything with it right now. Work on some stuff, send it to me in bulk when I have time to look it all over. Okay, I'll get to it. Sorry, Pat. I keep getting distracted. So if you guys have heard of the show or seen the show, Caught in Providence, it's a traffic court show. It's pretty mundane. It's hosted by a very, very kind and compassionate judge, possibly too kind and compassionate, some people would say. Frank Caprio. He, or his family at least, is from the little town of Teano, Italy, which is in southern Italy outside of Naples. I've been there. I went there to chase down leads on my family. So, okay, so the thing is, both sides of my family are from southern Italy, from the Caserta province, which Teano is in. My father's side is the Tamelios. My mother's side is the DiBiaseos. And I went there with DiBiaseos to track down more DiBiaseos. And we found a lot of them, actually. It was really cool. But one of the things that allegedly my grandfather always used to joke about, my grandfather on my dad's side, is that the families are already related. And that I, when I was just a fetus, would come out with 2 heads. I need a different fence. I need a fence. Hold on. Because I was inbred. Because my family tree is a circle, a large circle, but a circle nonetheless. It meets up somewhere. Now, it turns out that it isn't, thankfully, but it's more like a chevron. If you guys don't know what a chevron looks like, look that up. The DiBiaseos and Tamelios have been together before. Why no more Rails of War content? I really enjoyed watching the building, because the server became super unstable and it wasn't workable anymore. I would love to do Rails of War again, and I will someday if it becomes stable enough for it, but I cannot. So I am Ellis DiBiaseo Tamelio. I adopted both of the last names. My mom's last name, my mom's maiden name is my middle name. So it's not like I have a hyphenated last name or anything, but I'm Ellis DiBiaseo Tamelio. If you look up, if you Google, because you can Google it, I think, there's a website called Find a Grave, but if you Google Anna Elvira Tamelio DiBiaseo, that is Tammelleo Debiasio, Anna Elvira. Oh, man. It freaks me out every time I see it because she looks like me. And she died during the Second World War, presumably due to the fighting that went on in southern Italy, although I never knew because there's very little information about her. More Minecraft content, please. Yeah, if I had the time, I would. I want to get back to Minecraft. I play too much Minecraft for me not to record it. But yeah, Anna Elvira Tamelio DiBiaseo looks like me, has a very similar name to me, of course, including the same last names. And Ellis being Italian, what's your opinion on changing sides? There it is. I love changing sides. Actually, wait, I hate changing sides. Actually, wait, I love changing sides. Uh, the same thing in Discord. Knowing me, I'm gonna forget it. Honestly, if you just remind me later, I can just pull up the Find a Grave. You know what? I'll do it right now. I'll put it in the fan chat. Elvira Termelio DiBiasio. It's been a while since I've looked her up, but please tell me the picture is working because it wasn't working before. Oh, it's still working. All right. Man. She looks like me. It's weird. I put this in the fan chat. Actually, I'll put it in the streaming and recording because that's more relevant. Boop. All right, and now I need the YouTube window back. Let me know when you guys see it. Send me the. I'm just gonna. Matthew, who is one of the people here who has seen me in person, agrees. Yeah, it's weird. I want actually. Oh, it would be great to get to print out that picture, and to like put it up in my house. I wonder if Madison would let me do that. That's not creepy at all. Man, it creeps me out. It freaks me out. It is like it's like you're looking at your past life or something. I'm not big on reincarnation, but like if it exists, that was me. That was definitely me. Let's see what else I'm gonna throw in here. Let's see. I need some sort of shed. Shed. Alice is actually a time traveler, Dean. I thought I told you we don't talk about that. That is like not the kind of shed I need. Plaster on the van. They are planning to reopen the Tennessee Pass, says David Mitchell. Well, there are hopes. High hopes. They'll be able to scare the foamers. Oh, hey, Nevin. I think you get the PRJ1 and M1B from me. Did I do a route review for you? Because that's entirely possible. Did you do that and don't tell Madison about it? She already knows. Alice is secretly an old Italian woman. Well, I'm also a dead Italian woman by that measure. Is Alice a saucy boy then? Yes. Alice casually posts a picture of a dead World War II lady ancestor person. The picture would definitely start looking at you. Yeah. Alice is Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo? Colorado if I end the Tennessee Pass. If I'm Romeo, that means like everyone here has seen my butt. Everyone knows what I'm talking about too. Everyone had to friggin' watch unless you haven't been through it yet. Everyone knows, or everyone has to watch the Romeo and Juliet, where you get to see boob for like 0.25 seconds, and you stare at Romeo's butt for like an hour. I swear to God. Oh, what movie was I watching? Oh man, this is getting inappropriate. I'd like to talk about Tennessee Pass, but I need to talk about the inappropriate thing first. At least in that case, you don't look like your long-dead great-grandfather who worked at the Pennsy. Nevin, I'll come back to that. Colorado's planning by Tennessee Pass, blah, blah, blah. Take them years? Nah, not really. It was maintained until 2007. It's in a pretty good shape. There are some rocks they need to clear and some bridges they need to inspect, but that's about it. Hopefully that deal goes through because Union Pacific does not want it to go through. What was I saying? Oh, inappropriate thing. Yeah, right. Madison and I were watching... I'd never seen The Notebook. People, like, everyone here probably knows The Notebook. Because apparently, like, everyone else had seen it but me and Madison. And, so I saw it for the first time. And there were, like, it was incredibly depressing. It was a depressing film. We watched it with her grandmother who has Alzheimer's, so that didn't help either. But, there is boob in it for, like, a second, and it made it worth it. Completely. Because this is what you do when you go into it, that kind of movie as a guy. You just hope. What but? Actually, I'm good. Ah, yes, Romeo and Juliet, aka Underage Love Story, the movie. I have watched that movie you mentioned. I think, like, everyone had to watch it in freshman year of high school. I feel like. Union Pacific will never reopen Tennessee Pass, or at least let it go. Well, the thing is, there's laws that make it so they have to let it go. If it is proven that Yes, The Notebook, I refuse to watch it. It's good, but man, it's depressing. It totally bamboozled me because it is shot like a movie of the period. It's shot like, I thought it was no younger than a 60s or 70s film. I was like, the color is really good, but you can tell by the cinematography that it's an older film, and it's not. It was 2003. It's like unbelievable, unbelievable, very very well done movie. Can't say enough good things about it. Shelby just messaged me. Okay, but hear me out else. What now? Shelby just messaged me. We were supposed to, but the second or two of boobs stopped the school. Okay, Nevin. I want to come back to your point about looking like your dead grandfather. We found a part of the DiBiaseo clan, the closest one that we could to our actual relations. Direct first cousins of my grandfather. Now, the first cousin of my grandfather had passed away the March before we got out there, which was a real shame. It was, we wanted to meet him. He was 93, which is very close to my grandfather's age. And unfortunately, he passed away before we got out there. We were planning to go out there when he died. Like, we had the plans made and the tickets booked. So that was deeply unfortunate. But we went into, we met them. They live in a tiny town in the mountains called Capelli. It has 65 people, and that's it. The people, or the family, they greeted us with open arms, as all of our branches of family did. One of them gave us like an 8-course dinner, which was fantastic, and then bought us jewelry. This wasn't them. This was a not as well off sect of the family. But I go in there, and there is... Silvio was the man who passed away. His wife was a woman by the name of Yolanda. I believe she's still alive. She had had a stroke, and she could not communicate very well. She also, of course, didn't speak English, so I couldn't really understand her. But she saw me, and she started freaking out. And she like motioned me over to her. She was blabbering, like she wasn't making coherent words. I don't know much Italian, but I know a little bit. She wasn't making coherent words, and I knelt down in front of her, and she was touching my face and blabbering and crying her eyes out. And it turns out the people who could translate described to me that she was trying to say that I looked like Silvio did when he was young. And she was touching me because it was like she was seeing her husband again when he was young. That was one of the more bizarre things that I have been a part of. Possibly the most bizarre and unnerving thing, and my mind goes back to that exact moment. And I'm so grateful that I got to take that trip, but man, was that something. We don't have a name for this place. What is... I need a name for this place. What are we naming this place? Ellis is going to turn into an Italian mobsters. I got already propositioned to join the mob, so don't, maybe not something to joke about too much. Take them a year to 2 years to rebuild the line. So, I'm not a pro for reopening Tennessee Pass. Well, that's, Tennessee Pass is not that dangerous to operate. Man, if we had Wild in here, he'd be, them's fighting words. Tennessee Pass was previously tricky. Dean Shush. Tennessee Pass was previously tricky to run because of the long downhill grade, but that can be handled these days. Ellis gives his relative an emotional breakdown. Yeah, that's a story of my life right there. Okay, what are we going to work on now? Also, Shelby messaged me. Episode idea. There's anything as fast as possible for contract or something flirts with one of the girls, whether it be Sally, Katie, or Sam. Boy, I ship them with Gets Jealous, Chaos, and Chaos ensues. I think we have the opposite of that. Planned / back episode with Sally. That's a fun one. I like it. Shelby doesn't know I'm doing it. IHC Godfather Edition. Name the area Elvira. Oh, thank you, Matt. You are awesome. Elvira Valley Grain Company or whatever. Tennessee Pass is 3.5% grade on its south slope and it climbs more than 10,000 feet high. Yeah. It is not the easiest pass. It's not the hardest, though. It's tricky, but it is really good. It goes in like a dead, not a dead straight line, but it is very direct. Finger guns, I got you, fam. Thanks, Shelby. How does Mullen Pass in the MRL compare to Tennessee Pass? What is Mullen Pass? Or is that Mulan Pass? Tennessee Pass is going to make a man out of you. So, Ellis, got any hot Italian cousins I can hook up with? One, but she isn't going to come to Rhode Island anymore. She was going to go to the Rhode Island School of Design, and then she decided not to. Pat, just because you deleted it doesn't mean I didn't see it or respond to it. So it's immortalized now. Dangerous to operate both these special operating rules in order to get trains over. I think Tennessee Pass is an order of magnitude less difficult than Saluda. Tennessee Pass also, again, is really useful for things that are coming west from Oklahoma, which is what they want to use it for. I don't know. I think it could be good. I'd like to see trains on Tennessee Pass again. Okay. All right, back to what I was thinking of doing, which is over here. Patrick getting called out. Listen, if you're trying to smash, I'll be your wingman. Good old Saluda. We held the even 611 struggle line. 611 is not exactly a powerhouse. It's a northern. It's a good northern. I don't think that 611's a bad northern. Well, I mean, I have my doubts, but I don't think that 611's a bad northern. But I do think that 611 is not exactly a god. It can't do ridiculous, incredible things. It's just a northern. If it was like, a hill that an Allegheny struggle on. I just looked at the picture of, and I realized that how Ellis is just Goodwill version of Keanu Reeves. I don't think I've heard that one before, and I'm not sure if I should be offended or not. Honestly, not sure. I don't necessarily mind being compared to Keanu Reeves. And I know I'm going to have something shut up it's about saying reopen Saluda grade. Saluda? We need a statue. Can we get a statue in here? T1 Master Race. I don't think okay, I've got a real crap selection of statues. Holy crap! Okay, that isn't gonna go there. Monument. Whoops, what did I delete? Put that back. Should write that down in my story. Oh, great. Dean, what? What do you want? What are you writing down? The Master Race of the Helen ERA3s. Well, that's cool. That's a little big. Where's the stupid Christmas thing? Yeah, this. There we go. Get out of here. What's up with the track now? The track is completely bugged out. It's not even sunk in, it's just broken. And a database repair. Shooting them for them to ship grain off the Kano Railroad and interchange to the UP in western Colorado. From the grain traffic down to the Gulf and then California thing. It takes longer. See, this is what I'm talking about. Shortline comes in and just drops knowledge bombs. This man knows so many things. When it comes to railroad politics, he's the guy to go to. Okay. Let's see, where is it improved? It's Matt Ellis. You should be offended. You should be offended. You're right. Next time I see Matt, he's not getting out of the car alive. He's going right in the back of the Volvo. Hey, I love the planetarium and trains. I have a love-hate relationship with that thing. It has... it has made its way into too many Iron Horseman episodes. I'm not sure where I would put it, but Nat's father sees me and thinks that I was a friend of his that went off to fight in the war. Nat's father. Nat's father. Nat. Nat's the girl? I can't remember the name of the girl. It's been a while since I read your story. Nat's father. Trying to build a mile of railroad track today. Well, I sure can't. And the Central Pacific could build 10. What's your point? Sound very true. Let the trunk jokes commence. Oh no, what have I done? I forgot about the trunk jokes. Well, Graham isn't even here, so. Graham showed up in the Discord like right before I started doing this. I'm kind of amazed he isn't here. That's the girl. Okay, that's what I thought. I straight up could not remember her name. Ellis, when you locked yourself out of your own car, the trunk lock was still open. I'll be fine. I figured out how to lock the trunk. Also, oh, it does open from the inside. Also, I figured out how to lock the trunk anyway. Matt in the back of the Volvo. I want to make Graham joke in here, but I'm not. Wait. Matt, how tall are you? I'm gonna wait until he answers that question. He wasn't short. The thing is, people get too tall too quickly. I don't like it, because then they end up taller than me. And that's unacceptable. I say, when most of the horsemen are significantly taller than me. And then there's Weibel, who is a foot and a half taller than Madison. What am I hiding in the trunk? Matt, hopefully. I feel like this should have... LSTJ to climb in through the back of the... I'm 5... Okay, 5'5.5". Damn, you're way too tall. Damn it. Excuse me, but I mean, rebuilding is different than building, but... Are any good PRR signals available for trains? Yes. Yes. Austin, yes, there are. Oops, hold on. Where are you? Yo, I have them over here. What am I doing? 5'5.5". Wait, how y'all are you? Patrick says. I know you mean how tall am I, but whatever. PRR, PL, blah, 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 super signals. These are the best signals. China still uses the only blah, blah. I'm 5'7". So the reason I care about people being short is if they are 5'1" or 5'2" or shorter, they can go in the jump seat in the back of the wagon. And I want to squeeze more people in that jump seat. I've got Madison, and I've got Shay and Donna Grace, and like that's about it. There are not too many people that I can shove in that seat. Also, there's supposed to be like a weight limit too, but nobody's gonna listen to that. Nobody cares about the weight limit. It's supposed to be for children. But shh. I need a chain link fence. Let's go get one. Where are my commercial businesses? I forgot I made this little cut-through street. Man, the things that I do. Right? The things that I do. I am very y'all. Do they work in Train 2012? Ooh, that's right. I forgot you're stuck in 12. The answer is probably not. I'm sorry to say, but the answer is probably not. Ellis, I can bend my neck. You wouldn't fit, dude. When you are 5'1", you are like touching the ceiling. It's not a matter of bending your neck. I'm telling you that right now. I haven't tried to fit Wild in the wagon. I'm concerned he won't fit at all. He fit barely in my other car, and that had a lot more leg room. The thing is, I like to take that wagon on road trips, as you know. There's a chain link fence. There we go, give me that. My neck bones have all but disintegrated from playing trains for too long. Dude, I don't want to fold you like a pretzel to fit you in the car unless I'm doing it in a way that you are tied up. Alright, how are we going to make this work? This feels so mundane. It feels epically mundane. Because I have done... This also doesn't need to be a gravel lot. Because I've done this again and again and again, and I'm coming back to it. And yet... Message me. Alright. And yet... like, I wanted to be done. I wanted to be finished with this. With this town. I thought I was done, but I wasn't. Let's see, property line goes this way. Just strap me to the roof. I'm meaning to get one of those basket roof racks. So I can just put all the luggage up there. I'm gonna have 7 people in the wagon, and then all luggage on the roof. Because that's how you do it. If they weren't as bad, they've been open in a year. Have you said that like 3 times, David? We should get the street running track from JR2. Yeah, that's this. It's bugging out right now, but it usually looks awesome. Why? I don't know why it's bugging out, but whatever it is. Where are my trolleys? Where are they? They're usually hanging around. No, seriously, where are they? Doesn't one start over here? Hold on. Consists. I know they were showing up. Oh, can we turn off the gradients that I can actually see? Okay, so there's not one here. There's one. Oh, it's one here and one there. Okay, they're at the outskirts of town here. Put a plastic chair on the roof. Yeah, there are my trolleys. The only road dome car ever. You should paint the wagon green for the meme. What I'll do is I'll paint it black and just say it's Brunswick green. It is black, so I'll just say it's Brunswick green, and people will have no choice but to believe me because there's no difference. I should also rebuilding East Broad Top. Yeah, we covered that at the beginning of the show. I'm super excited. I know you tuned in a little bit late. You missed the EBT discussion, which is a shame because EBT stuff. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so happy. I really am. Let's get rid of this. And let's have control devices. Stop. I just want a stop sign. There we go. Also, just put the luggage in the car with the driver, make everyone sit on top. Yeah. Hey, we all piled into Fliegel's truck. We all sat on the roof, so that was fun. Proof that we can do that. I need some sidewalk along here. Dome Volvo. I love it. Anytime anybody mentions needing a car, I immediately go to Craigslist. Madison will see me open Craigslist and start to, like already start to tell me no before I'm 30 seconds into Googling. Are there any free customers on the trolley lines? Ah, funny you ask. The answer is yes. Let me show you. So, alright, we have the merge of the 2 roads here. This is a little obnoxious, but honestly, I don't have a better way to do it. Oh, you know what? I do have a better way to do it. Hold on. I'm gonna do the Mason trick. If I just line this right up. Actually, do I have a version of this road with no edge lines but a double yellow? Actually, double actually. Do I have a version of this with no lane lines at all and just the road? I do, but it's not on the DLS. Damn it. I need to download it off the DLS. They do work in Trains 2012, but they don't keep their settings. Okay, no. They do, but you have to work in the session layer. Or sorry, you have to work in the... You have to work in a session because they save in the session layer. So if you're working in the route and you change them and you go back in, Fling and I are like 20 minutes from one another. That's awesome. Go out and back in. You're going to lose them, but they'll be saved in the session. KCS had a derailment. Oh, please post that in the news because that's a big deal. Things about getting a car on Craigslist. Well, it's when I don't even want one for myself, but obviously I do. It's just whenever somebody else needs a car, I immediately go to Craigslist and she sees it and starts preparing to tell me not to do anything stupid with all of our money. And then I just bombard people with Volvo 240s for sale on Craigslist. It's never ending. They're always for sale. They're always available. Let's grab this. Mason, why don't I have your roads from the DLS? That's the strange part. That's my takeaway of this whole thing. I kind of want the sidewalk to be double wide all the way through here so that I can have the do you have the link to the Discord? To the Discord, it's in the Cargoes of the Terminus podcast. Okay, this is going to be tricky because I need to line this up with the, yeah, you know, we'll line up the wall with the thing and not the other way around. That'll be easier. Should be easier. Let's just try it and see how it looks. Ellis, you know you want the Volvo you posted a while ago. Yeah, alright. Hold up. Is Madison in the Discord? If so, I need to add her and tell her to feel better. She is. She's Lovebug. And she also got a new phone, so she probably doesn't have Discord installed. So you can add her and tell her to feel better. But I don't think she'll see it for a while. I will pass it on to her. I like Z fighting. That's a little better. At least we have a consistent seam. And now it's poking through the other side of the brick wall. Because that looks real. Sometimes I love the way that splines work, but I really hate dealing with them sometimes. Like that that lock I built over there, or the former lock that's now the waterfall. That was such a royal pain. But I love it. I love the way that it came out, and I love the way that it looks. Alright, is this good? Is this all good over here? He actually did it. I actually did it. Who actually did it? Who did what? It's Keanu Reeves. Did he actually do it? What the heck is with this shark? We don't need chain letters in the Discord. I'm gonna throw somebody in gulag for that. Also, I didn't line these corners up. Why didn't I do that? That's me being neglectful. And this one, I bet, isn't lined up either. Oh, it is. No, it's not. There. Close enough. She has been told feel better. Yes, good. Hopefully, she will. Need some water. Ah, okay. I love this town. I'd live here. I require my interurban rail. It's right. Sorry, Shortline. I was showing you. I'm being tried for committing war crimes against virtual rail plan. It's okay. Chris did the same thing. So, just to give you a little history, Shortline, the interurban here This is the Mason Valley Transit Company. They were the main rival to the Mason Valley Railroad, which is this here. Mason Valley Railroad, if we go up and down, I can just show you the whole thing because it's... Oh, there's Graham. I like how you said his name and then he immediately showed up. So this is one terminal of the former Mason Valley Railroad, which was built as a narrow gauge line because they really didn't know what they were doing. Ellis, I can't get those signals to work and I'm sad now. Damn, that's a shame. They're some of my favorite signals. Ellis is the water advocate. Yes, I am. What is up with this track? So this is the Mason Valley Railroad, and you can see it's paralleling the Mason Valley Transit Company. Now, Mason Valley Transit Company has a station over here by the train station, obviously, as you would do. It also crosses the main line here in a crossing I have yet to ATLS. And it runs down here into what you might call the center of town, but it's really more like the geographic center because the commercial center is over here. It doesn't serve any industries here. The Mason Valley Railroad serves industries that are downtown here. I need to scatter some trees around this place. You're going to the fun place in the area. I bought a book the other day that has pictures of all the motive power the CNO had from 1900 to 1965. Wow. What about me going to Gulag? I don't know. We're just going to throw you in there, Graham. So Mason Valley Railroad, Mason Valley Transit Company, they were rivals. The Mason Valley Railroad stopped existing as an independent entity way before the transit company existed, I'm pretty sure. But the transit company, they run up the valley as well. They came about to compete with the railroad. They have a crossing here, they've got a drawbridge here, and they run up this side, and this is the town of Doughcliff I have yet to build. And they run up the hill underneath the, this is the main line for the Volga Mountains, which they have a station here, and the Volga Mountains has a station, like, right over here. So, you can walk between the two. I was tempted to build a funicular as well, but I think I won't do that this time. They come down, they run along this side of the river to get out of the way of the other railroad, and because this is where the road was, into town. And they have a reverse loop here for inter-town, or for in-town service. They go through here. They used to serve this industrial park. You can see everything abandoned in here, including this abandoned boxcar. All the track is overgrown. This is a completely automobile-served and truck-served industrial park now, including a little military training camp here in this old fort. Did I just see a poopy old cupola caboose from 04? Yeah, probably. But this all used to be served by the Interurban. The Interurban's main yard, or the Mason Valley Transit Company's main yard, was this area right here. And you can see the thoroughfare of the yard is still, it's there. It's not really intact. And then it used to have, there used to be a crossover here. And then it would serve the main industrial park over here. And this is one of their main connections to everything else. You saw how this winds through town already. It goes through here. It stops at this station. It loops around and comes back that way. And it also runs deeper into town this way because there's the school there and everything and the radio station. This is closer to the center of commerce. You can see it on the map how it comes in this way, runs through most of town, and then loops back around and has a big reverse loop here. So, where are the industries then? Well, there are no industries. There is industry. I haven't, Nevin, good question. I haven't really sussed out all of the history of this town yet. So this area, again, this would have been the main yard. When they did freight ops, their engine house is over here. This is their car barn and engine house. And they would or did serve a couple of customers over here, but they do not anymore. The Mason Valley does not have steeple cabs. They've got 4 PCCs and this guy. They did have steeple cabs once upon a time. Where does the Geiger Mountains connected? Also, where's the transit company's car barn? So here's your car barn. I need to do all of the points in here, but I think the track work is pretty good. I also need to do the wires over here. Whatever. I do have that Fort Communist. No, it's like a Fort Adams if you've been to that. Not that anybody here would have, but this is the track where the setouts are left for the Mason Valley Transit Company. The Gilson Eastern owns the Mason Valley Railroad, and so it serves all of these industries in here. But it could not get trackage rights because they didn't want to play ball. It could not get trackage rights to the one surviving industry over here, which is this banana warehouse. And, Nevin, I'm going to fix it later. And so, Shoreline, they're almost passenger only. So, once a day, the Gilson Eastern train comes in, and it sets out one reefer car here. At night, the shunter comes out, takes that reefer car, trades it out with this one, leaves that reefer car, leaves the empty one over here, and then in the morning, the Gilson Eastern comes and picks it up and takes it. So, they do freight ops, but only that. And the reason it's only that is twofold. One, they've got this drawbridge that, well, one is that they didn't want to make a deal, really. The other one is they've got this drawbridge, and the drawbridge is old. And I guess they don't trust it under the weight of a regular locomotive, so they use a 44-tonner. And unless the Gilson Eastern wanted to use a rail bus, which they have in here somewhere. That's right there. To shunt that, they probably wouldn't have much luck. So, I thought about doing more freight ops, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to keep this simple for now. I'm going to be doing plenty of interurban stuff in the main city. So, where does the Geiger Mountains connect at? Okay, so Geiger Mountains is over here. The Geiger Mountains yard, this is probably their second largest yard on the system, because this is the beginning of their largest extension, is here. So this is all Geiger Mountains. Now, there is dual gauge here. The track is broken. The dual gauge here is shared, of course, between the Gilson Eastern. Yeah, this is just freaking broken. What's going on? And the Geiger Mountains. I need to do database repair. And the Geiger Mountains, they serve not that industry. They will drop off coal for here. They will and use this as like a switching lead. And they use this station here because it serves both the standard and the narrow gauge, although I'm not sure if I put in the narrow gauge platform yet. I think I just have the standard gauge one. Yeah, so I'll fix that later, sooner or later. So you have three things going on here. You've got the tram stop, you've got the standard gauge, and you've got the narrow gauge. The standard gauge is running constantly. The narrow gauge runs like 1 or 2 passenger trains a day. Mostly because it's kind of awkward to get to. Now, the narrow gauge and the standard gauge, they both use this bridge. This bridge is a very clearance-limited bridge, so certain things can't go across it. KS1, that's a very good question. What engines on the Geiger Mountains live at this yard? I don't know yet. I haven't sussed it out. And the standard gauge serves some stuff over here. So this is their yard lead, effectively, or switching lead. This is the Geiger Mountains main line. Comes down through here. Dual gauge. Main yard, stub yard, and through yard. This is to transfer logs back and forth, because the logs get brought in from Olive, usually. And they get transferred onto the narrow gauge, and then the narrow gauge takes them usually that way. This is their Y. It's a little bit tight, but it exists. This is their coal transfer. This is for narrow gauge to standard gauge. And then we have a goods transfer, which I haven't really sussed out what exactly is going on here. Did I ever send you my 2 GMR skins? You may have. I don't know if I have them, though. I don't know if I've installed them. Let me see. Yeah, so here's one. The GMR 280. So this would be... There'd be some heavy stuff here. You'd probably see K-37s hanging out here. On a not so irregular basis. There you go, that thing's cute. That's big news, David Mitchell, that KCS hit somebody. It's big news. I can set them back. You almost never do that. So, that's important. But yeah, this is your standard gauge yard. Or your narrow gauge yard, rather. It's a little tight, that's what she said, yeah. Wouldn't that be that's what he said? We also have some dual gauge street running because can you get more niche? And then this here, which loads coal onto barges. There is a barge track under there. And then this, which does lumber. I can't remember what I made this do exactly, but it does something. If I did make it do anything. It's turning lumber into goods. That much I know. Twin River Milling. Yeah, so it doesn't have any queues yet, but it's going to be doing something. Well, I'm a YouTuber too, lol. So, yeah, this side of the river is mostly Geiger Mountains territory. It's almost exclusively Geiger Mountains territory. And you have the through line, which is this one up here. It wraps right around the back of the yard. So if you got through trains that don't need to stop here, which they might not need to, you never know. This is mostly downhill, so they wouldn't even be using that much water. And then you've got the other one. This is a much steeper slope that leads down and it can get you into the yard. And also close to the water tower. Although this would actually be a nice spot to have the water tower that has the connections on both sides. Oh well. That would have been a good thought. And then the thoroughfare of the yard is not the outermost track, it's actually the innermost track. So this is the thoroughfare. That's a Togug engine. Yes, it is. He makes some good stuff. And then, yeah, I've got this goods transfer. I'm supposed to be setting up a bunch of semis in here because this is the semi portion, you know, the road-based portion, and then the rail-based, the standard, and the narrow. I was trying to put a bridge in here at one point, and it just wasn't working out for me. I'm watching a lot of MASH recently. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Man, shows of that era are great. MASH is great. Stargate is great. Or wait, Stargate is a lot later than MASH. What's another... What years was MASH? Please refresh my memory. But yeah, there's a lot of visual storytelling going on in here. And you can also see... It's been fun, but I gotta go for now. See y'all later. Thanks for the info. Have fun. See ya, Matthew. This yard, you can see, is a lot more developed than this one. This one was not... This one was an afterthought. It was, we're building a narrow gauge railroad, which originally started over here. Building a narrow gauge railroad. And then this railroad came through, and they merged up. And then they... Oh, Buckeye Nation Railroader, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I love Hogan's Heroes. And then the standard gauge came in, or they made the railroad standard gauge, and they moved the yard to over here because it made more sense, but it's still a very awkwardly shaped rail yard. MASH from 72 to 83. Okay, so it's earlier than Stargate. It gives me the same sort of feel as Stargate. It's the same sort of humor, that sort of thing. I'll take any opportunity to plug Stargate, honestly. Okay, so I need to put a fence around this because this is where the sheep are going to be. Okay. Any progress is progress. The little things, you gotta do the little things, and you gotta do the big things. There. Whoa. There. And there. The game is not liking me right now. Hogan's Heroes was my grandfather's favorite show. I think of him every time I watch it. Hogan's Heroes was one of my favorite shows growing up. I adored that show. Favorite episode is Hogan's Hofbräu. And I've probably watched it. I've watched it more times than I care to admit. And I'm not the kind of person that rewatches stuff often, so the fact that I did that is... like, it stands out to me that I did that. This is going to be another really annoying crossing to do. Oh well. I don't know what to put over here. Honestly, grass and trees might do it. But the other thing that might do it is a gravel road down this way and an administrative building down there. And then some grass and trees. So let's get some gravel road. We have a gate here, right? That's an entrance, and then we have another one over here. Yeah, okay. That's fine. The thing we don't have is cars. Let me get my gravel road, and then we're going to put some cars in. Hold on. Where's that cut-through street? There you are. Yoink. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We can see. We can see grid. It's never good. Hello, Too Coldy for Me. That's a great name. I remember when I used to watch your TRS 2006 videos. Good times for sure. Well, now I'm in Tain. So, just as I was then, behind the curve. But, welcome to the stream. If you just joined up. When is the next tournament broadcast? Tournament? Tournament? I'm not sure what you mean by tournament. Are you talking about SAR? Like we do in Minecraft? Or what? Because I don't know. That's up to Weibold. He's the Kaiser. This all seems like good territory for articulated steeplecaps. Are you gonna make me one? If you're volunteering an articulated steeplecap, I will use it. I might not use it right here, but if you can make me one and put it on the DLS, I'll almost certainly use it somewhere. That looks really bad. Oh, you know what I can do? Give me some invisible road. Invisible road. Maybe that one's too invisible. That one is way too invisible. The 113 Showdown I'm looking forward to. If he hasn't been to the Discord, he does not know about the 113 Showdown. But that is a real soon TM. It is something that I cannot wait to do, but that we need to set aside time to do, and that we need to get everyone together to do. Or the Terminus podcast. Okay. That is... oh, tournament broadcast equals Terminus podcast. I see. This weekend, I would hope. It looks like Sunday, but I can't really predict that. I don't like to, I don't like to say ahead of time because it always ends up getting screwed up when we don't produce it when we want to, or when I want to. It's tough to get everyone together. I might need to change the cast again. I'm not looking forward to doing that. Okay, so this is an active canal, I think. I'm making one for the Ohio Public Service Fleet, so maybe some cool alterations for your line could do. That'd be pretty entertaining. I'd be okay with that. I need a drawbridge here or a lift bridge or something. When is next Terminus podcast? Thank you, Dave Mitchell, for clarifying. I'm free to do the showdown whenever, Patrick says. You are very available. I notice you're around a lot, so I'm not going to worry about that. I need to, I need to do, like, the equivalent of a when is good, I guess, just to get everyone together, but I need to know that I'm good first, so. It's going to probably have to be on an evening when Madison's working, or if she has something going on, or whatever. That's the kind of thing where I need to know that I have time to do it, because I don't necessarily want her bored, like, why are you taking up the game room? doing a thing. She's never, like, complained about that, but I know that if we're here together, it's not her first choice to have me sitting on the computer making videos. Sitting at the computer gaming is one thing because I'm talking to people and I can talk to her. But if I'm sitting on the computer playing, or, you know, making a video, it means she has to be quiet. Like, she can't even be in the room. I don't think you get to do much when you want to, Ellis. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a full-time job and a house and a girlfriend and, you know, whatever. It's, apparently Brock is a slut, we knew that. It's the kind of thing where you really have to learn to juggle all those responsibilities, and when you make time, you have to make time, and you have to, you know, you have to sort of make it, you have to make arrangements almost. You have to say, I'm going to be busy during this time, so be busy during this time so that you're not, you know, so that we're not one of us wanting to hang out and the other one is not able to. Because it's not fair. It's not fair. You know, I've had days where I'd be like, hey, you want to, you know, hang out, watch our TV shows or play games or whatever. So now I'm going out and I'm going to be this place. And I was like, damn, I would have made plans then. I would have made plans if I knew. And it goes both ways. Yup, that's life. Yup, that's life. Gunda, you and I are on the same page. Alright, so let's... I'm just filling this with this. I don't know if this is going to be like a placeholder texture, but I like the way it looks. And I like the way it comes out when we cover it with grass. Alright, let's do... Make SAR gradient, yeah. I'd like to do SAR. I wanted to do it over President's Day weekend, but I ended up being busier than I thought I was going to be. It was also a nice weekend to, when I wasn't super busy, to actually unwind a little bit, because it was a nice long weekend. I mean to debut this on the Terminus podcast, but I might go up to the WMNF for, like, the better part of a week, because I just need to take a vacation. Like, I need to get out of Dodge. I haven't had, like, a proper trip since I met Matt, I guess. No, Pensy fan, Matt's gone. We don't need to return to the trunk jokes because we've got no one to throw in the trunk. Let's push this in a little bit more so we don't have excessive amounts of dirt peeking out from under the roadway. I could put more buildings along this road, I just don't know what I would put there. The other thing is, I was always thinking about putting more yard here, but to access it would be completely ridiculous. It'd be way more difficult than it would need to be otherwise. Oh, excuse me. I've got plans to watch some spring training baseball tomorrow and also possibly a haircut, says Patrick. You know, it was nice. Somebody said, no, Pat, we're not throwing Graham in there. Because all the spring training games are early in the day. They were like a Scottish fan of the Red Sox, and they were like, "Is this what it's like to live in Boston?" KS1 Production says I'm 6'3". See, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. I can't. Nah, Matt is still there. Ellis hasn't struck yet. Everyone's taller than me. Everyone. Madison isn't taller than me, but like, that's because I permit. That's you know. That's an important factor of our relationship, is that I can rest my chin on her head. Couldn't deal with somebody taller than me. Can't deal with people that are taller than me. I'm gonna push Wild out a window. That's a joke. That is a joke. For legal purposes, that's a joke. Someone over a month ago jumped off a moving Amtrak train 15 minutes from my house and got hit by another train at CSX. Jesus Christ. Shortline 614 says, a problem that I have is that I can never get into building a trains route. See, that, I'm sure you could make a mean backstory though, right? Because you know how this stuff works. You know how the mergers and the railroad politics, how it goes. Also, hey Mason. Also, pot calling the kettle black. Mason. I used to do a pretty good job of track maps and backstories for railroads, but if you are really having trouble getting into building a route and you are somebody who wants to, first let me plug the Iron Horseman Modular Railroad and say you could build a module, and then that's a very small commitment, and it gets to be part of something bigger. Dang right, Madison, and I'm proud of it. That's Mason, not Madison. Madison's still at work, I think. And I think I'm 5'7", but I'm not 100% sure. I still need to figure it out, though. Well, go get a tape measure. I don't feel like it's that hard. I have so many tape measures in my house. Come over and borrow one. Pretty good at building a route. The problem is the route I always build get corrupt. You make backups. Make a million backups. Make so many backups. Fill your computer with backups. No, but seriously, make a copy of the route every time you work on it. And then CDP those copies so that they're not in trains. And that way, if trains goes down, you still have your route. Or at least a very recent version of it. You know, if you have to reinstall the game, you still got your route in the CDP. Safe and sound. That's my recommendation. I do have a mighty need for all the modules. Gunda, nice save. I do have a mighty need for all the modules. The other thing is, you know, something bite-sized. I'm sure, Shortline, with somebody of your knowledge, that you... this is an assumption that I'm making, so correct me if I'm wrong. Should I just make backstories for people's routes? Honestly, you could do what I always did and say, and come up with route designs for people with fantastic backstories. I'm sure you'd be good at it. But if you wanted to build your own, you know, you gotta do something bite-sized. I'm sure that with your skill set and your knowledge, it's tough for you to want to do that. You want to go big. You want to go big or go home. You want to have a railroad with an interesting and deep backstory, and that generally means something that stretches a couple 100 miles. And maybe a couple dozen, you know, several dozen years. Knowledge, garage. Ellis is a millionaire confirmed. My new Lamborghini. My new Volvo Ghini. Till Ferrari builds a wagon, this is it. Okay, I'll come get one. You're buying my plane ticket. What am I doing? What am I gonna give you? Oh yeah, my tape measure. Yeah, you can come get one. That's fine. And if you come to the PN, I'll buy you a club card too. One of the route that I built was a rail line coming into a city from the mountains from one direction. Ever sleep on it and come in from the plains from the other direction. Oh, okay, I get it. Mountains and plains. So basically, you built Denver. It's been forever since I made a trains route. I did a fictional one in TRS-06. Oh, hi, Find Red. Yeah, it's tough to get back into it once you've fallen out of it. You can have a million good ideas and never want to act on them. And I feel like I lived that life. When I was working full bore on the Horseman Railroad, because it needed to get done for sets and stuff, I had the idea of Tolbrand floating around in the back of my mind. And I went, you know, I don't know, but, you know, it seems like it could be a good idea, but like, it's a lot of work, and I have another project right now, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it. And then eventually I was just like, all right. It's time to buckle down. It's time to... Oh, hey, Weibel. Oh, I said Denver, and he shows up. No, not the city. John Denver. Country roads. Oh, man, I'm gonna, like, hear... If I ever hear that on the recording, I'm gonna cringe. Your voice always sounds better in your head, especially your singing voice. I will build something for the Iron Horseman Modular Railroad soon. Yes, KS1. Do it. You possibly see me in the fall going up there for the Jimmy Fund walk. Cool. If you happen to be in the Rhode Island neighborhood, let's see, October? I'm not going anywhere in October. Oh, in the fall, you said, not October specifically. I don't know why I thought October. But, some of them were. Some of what were. Oh, they were green. Okay, I see. There's more conversations going on in there. I did see a Lamborghini the other day. I live in West Virginia. Wasn't mine. Belonged to the strip club owners. Nice. Paging Dean. Also built an industrial shoreline railroad. See, that's a nice thing. You bite off a little bit. I mean, industrial lines are kind of tricky because you get a lot of work cut out for you with the buildings and everything. But Graham, I see you, and I saw you say that last time. The Unhorseman Modular Railroad needs more coal mines. I think we have a power plant, so we could sure use a coal mine. Graham, I pointed out to him the green thing, but notice he has a comment in that thread. It's from 3 years ago. In the Rhode Island neighborhood, so within a few hundred yards of me, yes. No, but like, Jimmy Fun Walk is in Boston, isn't it? And if you're, you're an hour away from the Providence Northern, come down and see the model railroad. Tell him you're looking for Ellis. If I'm there, I'm there. I should be there. Ping me on Discord. Let me know you're going to show up. We're open on Saturdays, 12 to 4. If you can't get there on the Saturday, ping me on Discord. I'll open the place up for you. Shortline. I have an idea. A small 5-mile Mississippi shortline that was formed during the Illinois Central Gulf's major downsizing might serve one major industry and 2 others. A 5-mile line is a real nice... It's a nice thing to work on. It gets done quick. I will use CF7s because it's a broke 80s short line. There's some, there's a smattering of CF7 models out there too, so it wouldn't be out of place by any stretch. I'll build a coal mine on my map. Cool. I'm thinking of flying into Manchester and staying in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Okay, you're a little bit farther out of the way, but if you come down, you come down. Try flying into well, I don't know if you got family up there. Why, or if you just like New Hampshire. I get New Hampshire's cool. New Hampshire's probably my second least favorite New England state, but they're cool enough. So, and you can see that. You can see the Providence of Worcester. I need to clean my room, but Ellis was streaming. You can do both, You can listen to the stream and clean your room. Graham, if you don't clean your room, I'm just going to end the stream. I'll just end it. And that'll be the reasoning, because Graham didn't want to clean his room. You know what else you should do, Graham? Go make the lemonade we gave you. Oh man, them's fighting words. Graham just threw out an okay boomer. Well, how is Weibold going to cope with this? We're here with the play-by-play. Also, Weibold's called Graham a kid. That's what wireless headphones are for. Okay, I'm gonna clean my room. Yes. Threats work. I am a good potential parent. Recreating a short English route from West Hampstead, Thames link to St. Albans City set in the 1960s. You've been my inspiration for building routes for a year now. Thank you, Patrick. Parrot Yee. I misread it as Patriot and then as Patriot Yee. It should be Patriot Yee. America. I'm shattered, Graham. Oh man, we broke him. My mom's going to New York City this weekend, so I can make it without her knowing. Oh my god. Doesn't she know we exist now? Can you just tell her I sent it to you or something? Dumbest thing. The saga of the lemonade continues. Madison was asking me about that yesterday. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's touched the lemonade. You're welcome. My uncle's staying. Okay, my uncle is who we are staying with, and it's a lot more easy for him to get at Manchester. That makes sense. I was gonna say, nobody people unless you're a skier or a snowboarder, people very rarely go to New Hampshire for fun. Or I guess if you're a hiker. Hiker is good. New Hampshire's got a lot of nature, but that's kind of all it's got. Vermont's got nature and also Bernie Sanders, so cats can have a little salon. You see the glass I got? It's in my drawer. I know exactly where it is. Your mom is gonna pull it out like she'd be pulling out like a little baggie of weed. Like, what is this? automatically hit you up. Awesome. Yeah, let me know. I'm usually around. Let's see, if you're in... Let's see. You're flying into Manchester, staying in Portsmouth. That's right on the coast, right? It's like on... It's on the way to New Hampshire's got the Conway Scenic. Yeah. New Hampshire... I say what I say, but New Hampshire also, I think, is underrated. It's got a lot of good things. But at the same time, as a traffic engineer, I cannot think highly of New Hampshire. Because New Hampshire is broke as hell. And they cannot afford any traffic projects, even the most critical ones. They have bridges that are just friggin' falling apart. And that I sit there and stare at and go, I need to fix these. But never will they allocate the money for it, because they just don't have it. That's also a reason why you don't have any trains that go to New Hampshire. Because they're broke. They don't have the... they don't have the population or the size of Massachusetts or Maine. And they aren't liberal enough to raise taxes on the people that do decide to live there. That's the only way I can think about it, because of comparing them to Vermont, you know. The guy who owns the Conway seems like a neat guy. We need someone with connections up there. Portsmouth right on the coast, right on the main state line. Okay, so I'm actually going to be going through there. Oh, right across the border, I guess, right across the river from Portsmouth is Ellsworth, Maine? Yeah, Shoreline, you guys just, you're like spending billions on trains, right? I read through that article a little while ago and we didn't get to cover it in the podcast in depth, but Virginia is making money moves. Virginia likes trains more than Maine likes trains, and Maine really likes trains. Virginia is like Maine if Maine had gigantic bottomless pockets to spend on trains. Alright, Ellsworth, yeah. So my company has an office in Ellsworth, and if I go up to the WWF for like a week, I'm probably going to go to the office in Ellsworth for a little while. Unfortunately, it's still like a 2-hour drive from Wiscasset, so it's not something that I'm super looking forward to, but it's the closest office there is, unless I just say F it and, you know, go to like a Dunkin' Donuts and use the Wi-Fi. Because you know I have my pick of 1 of 500 every time I'm, you know, that's the whole of New England. Weibald knows. He counted. Speaking of which, super looking forward to 2021. For those that are thinking about coming up to New England and hitting up the 2-footers and stuff like that, and the Conway Scenic and the Mount Washington Cog and everything like that, the Horsemen are going to be doing a trip to New Hampshire in 2021. Oh, Graham pinged me. Oh, Graham got the lemonade out. Graham just sent me a picture of him holding the lemonade packet. Well, at least we have connections with the main narrow gauge. And by that it means we very nearly have connections with all of Maine to 2-foot. Almost. Because the main narrow gauge, they love the WWF. The WWF, they love Booth Bay. And they're pretty chummy with, and they love, whatchamacallit, the Machine Works, Maine Locomotive and Machine, which is along the WWF. And they work closely with Edaville. So you basically have all of the 2-foot that's covered right there. There's, of course, one in particular that I left out. And, you know, because things. I don't know how chummy, if at all chummy, the main narrow gauges are with the Conway Scenic. The K&L has they have some rolling stock. It's like Coaches and Caboose. That's it. The Packs have rolling stock though. They have freeware Coaches and Caboose, and then a couple of engines. But the Packs, they all come with rolling stock, and it's really good. Like, here, let me, Austin, let me show you something. Because they come in... Well, I'll do this. This is one I love to show off. I think this is the one with the red coaches. Let's go somewhere where we have some room. Indirect competition, indirect connections to the Florida Central Railroad through a friend of one of my friends. Connections are good. It's best to have connections. So they come with this. Now, obviously, this isn't like super rolling stock, but well, I would imagine so as well. But I've never heard them talk about one another, and I talked to them extensively at the Big E. Let's see. Can I get... So we have passenger trains. I mean, lots and lots of passenger trains that come with these things. Branch. That's me. I made that. Where are my... Where are my... Oh, PRR. There are these hoppers. Yeah, Pensy hoppers. Ask and thou shalt receive. Austin. I went to the main narrow gauge museum a few years ago. They were still restoring the steamers. I asked to see them. They said yes, so I still saw them. They are a great bunch of guys. A great bunch of guys. No, the Como of the East is unfortunately the Sandy River and Range of Lakes, I would say. Which is really a shame. Did you just say nice quality stuff for a KNL PRR Decapod? Because that's exactly what these come with. They came with the hoppers. Have you played Rolling Line? I have not. I've seen people play Rolling Line, though. Okay. Back to what I was doing. What was I doing? No one's like Como. Can't compare stupidity. Man, Como is... Yes, they are a special group of individuals. But they're definitely not exactly in a league of their own. There are plenty of dumb things. Where do I get those? They're KNL trains. Those hoppers that I showed you, Austin, they come with the I-1 from KNL trains. It comes in a pack. Oops, don't want that. Let's see. What's the stubbiest lighthouse I can find? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That is unfortunate, Wybold. You should just block people who harass you. Okay. Get out of here. Okay. I need some gravel. Give me that. I have not played Rolling Line, unfortunately. It's the kind of thing where, like, I like trains. Like, trains like this. I like this. A lot. And so I don't really feel the necessity to get Rolling Line. And if I really want something with the form factor of a model railroad, I've got one of those too. So I never felt the need. It's a really, really neat program, but I never felt the need. So I'm tempted to get Chase to do. It really shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, you either ignore someone, like if you don't want to deal with somebody, you either ignore them, or you block them. If you sit there and lament, that doesn't solve any problems. I don't like blocking people either. I've only really ever blocked like 2 people, probably ever. I got randomly blocked by somebody, and then I got unblocked by them, and they talked to me for... Like, I don't even know... I don't even remember who this was. I got a message out of the blue. I gotta block you. And I wrote back, like, who are you? But by the time I wrote back, who are you, they had already blocked me, so I don't know who they are. And I got more messages from them later, like months later. It was like, no, but really. No, who are you? How do I know you? Yeah, I know. I'm preaching to the choir here. Sorry, why? What was I making these riverbanks? This. This is the riverbank. And the middle of the river, I think, too. Right? Or was I doing something darker? Nope, just this. Give me that. Bold of you to assume I haven't blocked you. I'm... I didn't think you didn't. I mean, I didn't necessarily figure you had, because I didn't figure you had a reason to. Like, you know, normally I would never even bother or consider unless somebody's actively dicking me around. So, I didn't know. Obviously, I don't know what goes on between you and other random people. Austin, you're right about that. Better prices. But I didn't assume either way. I figured that you knew how to resolve that sort of thing. Him and Jerry Day. Block them both. Just kidding. Jerry Day you need to keep unblocked, because you need to know what he's saying so you can counter it. And then tell him that they were green. Because they were. Graham says, guess what? I'm afraid it has to do with lemonade. I'm not going to guess. Okay, so also Madison was the other day like telling me, you're good at games. If you did more, you could make money. And I was like, but I have a job. Jerry Day died from finding irrefutable evidence of green boiler Jackson circuits service. No, he would just shut down. Jerry Day posted some cool stuff of the Rotary. See, that's the problem with that man, isn't it? Can't live with him, can't live without him. He already blocked me. Who cares what Jerry thinks? Unsurprising. I feel like I already knew that. But keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. I cleaned my room. Good job. I don't want him infecting others with his stupid... Jesus. It's just belligerent. Not belligerent. It's stubborn is what it is. Not that we don't know a thing or two about that. Did I do this? Did I retexture this, and is it just the water is looking like this, or what? I think I retextured fine. Yeah, it's retextured. Okay. I'm infecting others with stupid. Do you have stupid? Probably too late for that. Again, the issue is, like, he says these outrageous things, and he's also him, which is a great many troubles. He says these outrageous things, and then he's got good political view posts. Oh, Lord. And then he takes good pictures, and it's like, but Jerry. Oh, man, Patrick. You're doing God's work, son. What's the last time you did a whip? Nay, nay, never. They were green, best political platform. That is my political platform. I'm running on hashtag they were green and cats can have a little salami. My running mate is U.S. Senator from Colorado, Michael Bennet. And he will always be addressed by his full title. So, can I get this edge done here? Because this will make me feel pretty good. Even though this is empty right here, this will make me feel pretty good. Sometimes empty's okay, and I still might want to, I both hate and love that hashtag they were green has become a thing. You're welcome. I have started this. I will take credit for it. But I cannot take credit for its propagation. And that is the part to be excited about. And I hope we can infect the entire narrow gauge forum. With hashtag they were green. U.S. Senator. How do I pronounce ketchup? I pronounce it cat's blood. What? Are you... What? Cat's blood. cat's blood. Sure. Whatever. Why not? Catsup already is a thing. So cat's blood, I guess, isn't so bad. The Evergreen is one of the best things to come out of us recently. That's because we haven't made any Iron Horseman episodes. That and Dean's story. I spread it on the photo train. The Evergreen is there to enlighten the people. The people! We are the Gospels for the Rio Grande. We're speaking the language of gods. It's just, it's, the green engine. 93 should be green. Catsup, so I call it cat's blood. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you were going for, but what the hell? Catsup. If you're gonna do the opposite of that, why don't you be like cat's breakfast? Or cat's break. Instead of catsup. You know, supper, breakfast. That sort of thing. Get what I mean? You get what I mean. SP18 but green. We don't need SP18 to be green. 1-0. I crack up at 1-0. The best thing to come out of the 1-0 podcast was Madison coming in and me being like, what's that number? She's like, 10. And I was like, no, it's 1-0. And she looked at it intently as if she was going to figure out, like, as if it was going to make itself more apparent why it should be 1-0. Like, it was going to make more sense if she had looked at it more closely. It doesn't. It is 1-0. There's nothing about it that makes sense. There's nothing about this I understand. 4501 doesn't need to be green. Nothing needs to be green. Except for 93, just for a little while, so Jerry Day can deal with it. I'm not advocating for torturing the man. I just want him to see the light. I'm going to put the light in you. I now own Decapod. Oh, that sounds like a Madison getting home. So I might have to kill this stream. I might not. Who knows? Depends what she wants to do. But this was a nice long stream. Let's see. 2.5 hours. That's longer than under construction. I can tell because my throat's starting to hurt. It's a big difference between 1-0 and 10. Yes. Yes, there is. It's my favorite SP shop switcher. What is that? The SP had their weird, like camelback thing. How about the Pro's joke scream of black on one side and green on the other? That would be wonderfully terrible. I know some things where they paint one side like one thing, one side like the other, so that you get different things depending on which way you look at it. Swirl it like a candy cane. Where's Milky? Milky had that Interurban car that was swirled like a candy cane. Alright. Oh, you know what? I think she just picked up Shay and went out. Okay, cool. I can keep doing this. This, you know, I gotta cross the river, although I think I said I wasn't going to. Well, I can finish doing the river itself. Wait. Maybe something else happened. I know she wanted to come home and make crap. Somebody went out and came back in. Maybe. Something happened. I'm giving you the play-by-play of what's going on, what I think is going on in my house. No, I can't see any of it. 10 in binary and Unicode, or possibly Boolean. Call me Julian Boolean, which could be number 3, so it's not loco number 10. It's 3, so there's the theory. I would make an interurban route, but there isn't a lot of content. There's not a ton, but it exists. I mean, I'm having that problem too, of course. Saw a picture of 1361's boiler in EBT Roundhouse and I was very confused. It was there for quite a while. Charlene, give me a few months, got content in the works. Yeah, that's right. You've got somebody right here that is making some real quality interurban content. And I'm talking quality. So, Graham just says stream. Is it working? Still working. It's a little behind. That's a while behind, but hey, whatever. I need a car down here. Oh, we need cars over there as well. We need cars and driveways and stuff like that. 1950. But why was it there? Why was what there? 1-0? Oh no, the boiler. You know, that's a real good question. That is the question of the century right there. And I don't think we'll ever get a satisfactory answer. I'm sure there's an answer. But the bits of 1361 went far and wide. So Ellis get robbed on stream, but misspelled stream. Yeah, that's what's happening. People are coming in, and they're taking stuff and leaving. That's what's happening. I think the opposite happened. I think somebody got food delivered. Oh, what is that? You know, I'm going to use this instead of that. If you are custom strip, custom loads, I'm not going to skimp on stuff. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Graham, are you robbing Ellis? I already gave him stuff he doesn't use. He doesn't need to steal from me. Take a pot. There isn't there 61 problems. A, funding, and B, they can't operate it with the bell pair until they modify it. It needs a new firebox. It doesn't need, like, not to be bell pair, because you can operate an engine with a bell pair, but the issue is the PRR built theirs to standards that would not hold up and do not hold up in the modern day. And what I mean by that is you design a boiler and a firebox to hold X amount of pressure for X amount of time. You want it to have a certain amount of longevity. And the issue is the PRR didn't really care about the longevity. They knew they could crank boilers and fireboxes out as fast as they could possibly wear out. And so they made them relatively thin, and they made them relatively, I don't want to say shoddy, because it wasn't like it was poor workmanship, but it was just like they weren't built to stand up for long stretches of time. And they are effectively under what we would currently call safe today, but that's because engines today are expected to perform for 15 years without a change of, without an overhaul. And the Pennsylvania Railroad didn't necessarily see it that way. So they knew that they could make boilers and fireboxes on the cheap, and because they could standardize them across railroad classes like they did, they could literally bring engines in and just pull the boiler and firebox off the frame, drop a new one on, and call it a day. Because they just would have them. They had spares. They could make spares. That was the genius behind the standardization of the Pennsylvania Railroad. It's that, it's not that everything was perfectly aligned, it's that they only had to make a handful of things, relatively speaking, for a huge locomotive fleet. You had relatively few components, and that meant you could go into full mass production for, like, everything, and no matter what broke down, you had a part for it, even though you weren't producing that many different kinds of parts. The same thing with the position light signals. 5550 can totally run over 70, because test track. And they could get it at least up to 79 anyway, legally, under the current regs. But I don't think we'd be seeing 5550 breaking the speed record anywhere that isn't Pueblo. Anyway. I totally think we're going to see it happen, though. Yeah, 1361 is a pretty bright future, relatively speaking. So, compared to in recent years, 1361, things are looking pretty good. Looking a hell of a lot better than 1309. But anyway, that was the part of the genius of the position light signals too. That's what I was getting into. Because you only have one lens. You know? If you think about it, let's look at, I mean, these are dwarf PLs, but they're PLs nonetheless. Every single light is this amber. Every single one. And they're all the same across all the signals across the entire system, no matter what PL. And they're all the same color. Also, all you have to do is produce amber glasses constantly. And no matter what breaks, you will have a spare. So, anyway, I'm hearing people getting home, and my throat is getting kind of sore, and I think we've made some good progress today. So hopefully I'll be able to hop on again and maybe do some copy pasting or whatever. And I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Let's try to make it consistent again. This is the Admiral, signing off.